sorry, it looks like I had some issues with a few of the lecture captures the last few days. Even stats yesterday, the microphone was working, but somehow in the middle of the lecture it switched from like the document camera to the camera, which sucks. I don't know why we even have that, because what value does it add to see me? Like, I don't know. So anyways, it was kind of wasted. But anyways, hopefully today works. So if you're trying to rely on those for Module 5, you're not so good. So we're only going to do 2 quick things to finish Module 6 here. We were working on grouping multiple workbooks. We learned about something called a 3D reference. Today we're going to talk about 2 other things. The first one is, let's just open the UC totals, remember the Module 6 files. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but we can put hyperlinks inside of Excel documents. So if we go to the Home tab or the Insert tab, you'll see over on the right-hand side, you see hyperlinks. Click on hyperlinks, and you can link to another folder. You can link to another workbook. Typically, you want to leave it in the same folder. I'm going to link to this UC memo, and let's change the text to display from the file name to click here to learn more. And click OK. So all we've done is built a hyperlink to the Word document inside of the Excel document. There's other things we can do in this hyperlink area, which I don't think it goes to in your text, but you might find this useful. You can hyperlink to a place in this document. So you can, something we'll work with what's called define names. But let's say, click here to go home. So place in this document, I'm going to click OK. Oops, I should have said A1 here, and then type here to go home. And it'll make your cursor do that. So, that could be useful if you have a big document that big spreadsheet you're putting together for quite a few people, and you're not sure they know how to navigate things correctly. You can do hyperlinks within the document. You'll see something we're going to use later called define names, and that becomes very useful for define names. The last thing in this chapter that it wants to talk about is using templates. If I go to File and I click on New, we've been doing a lot of things where we say create a new workbook. These other things we see here, like academic calendar, career insights, all these, and yours might look a little different. These are called, excuse me, these are called templates. So just pick one and click create. It gives you something to start with, and you see it says inventory list with reorder highlighting 1. Because I created this from what is a template, the first one I create, the first workbook I create from that template, it's number 1, just like the first sheet gets sheet 1, the second sheet gets sheet 2, the third sheet gets sheet 3. This could be useful as well. You're thinking to yourself, well, why can't I just do a save as? What the big worry with that is what if you forget to do a save as and you write over the original workbook? This way, you're using a template. It always gives you a fresh, brand new workbook. Very easy to create one. So let's go to File, New. Let's just create a blank workbook. And let's make ourselves a little template that maybe we would use. I'm going to make it real simple. So in A1, I'm just going to put A label, we'll type in name, and then maybe we're going to ask them to enter their name in B1, so I'm going to make that big. Let's do this. We'll just do value 1, and I'll put that. Value 2. And some. Let's make it a different color. Okay, so if I'm going to use this, so let's say I put in John Miko here. I put value 1 is 5, value 2 is 10. Let's, I don't know, center those things. And let's put equal sum B3 to B4. And let's center that. So I know this is very simplistic, but let's say this was a, I don't know, some kind of bigger worksheet where I want many people to use this and I wanted to use it the same way. Maybe they're figuring out, I don't know, BMI or maybe some ratio for a financial stock. And I want them to be able to use this. And I want to indicate that, you know, the yellow is where you enter data, the green is what gives it back to you. So I'm going to delete the data that I put in. I'm going to leave the formula in there. Okay. And I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to save it as, and I'll save it in Module 6 files. But instead of saving it as an Excel workbook, let's save it as an Excel template. You guys see XLTX, Excel template X. And I'm going to click and save. Okay. Just close out of this guy. And let's do File New. Let's look at my personal templates. Did I just call that Book 1? Should have given a better name. I should have called it like the summer or something like that. But anyways, I should have given a better name so I know what the template was. But you see now in my personal templates I've built, I have that summer. And it says Book 1. That's the name I give it, Book 1 after. If I do another template, it'll be a workbook called Book 2. You know, and I can use that. So just wanted to show you that feature of Excel. Nothing too exciting there, I don't believe. Okay, any questions on anything we did in Module 6 so far? Grouping workbooks, 3D references. Okay, then let's do the case. Let's do the instructor case in the end of Module 6. And I'm going to change it up a little bit. I did it this morning. And the way it was doing it, I thought was very cumbersome. So I'm very proud of myself. I fixed it. So let's go to Blackboard. Let's go to, I have Blackboard open. Let's go to Module 6. Module 6 data files, case 3, and we're going to bring up RoomGroom. So I guess we are some kind of pet groomer, and we have kind of 2 summary worksheets here: service by month, service by animal type, and then we have, you know, little spreadsheets, worksheets for every month. Okay, so this might be for 1 year. This might be a 2016 or something like that. Okay, so what it wants us to do, I'm going to make this a little bigger. You know, it wants us to add totals. It wants us to pretty this up, right? For all these January through December, It wants us to pretty them up, have a standard look, and also add totals. So I don't want to have to do that 12 separate times. So I'm going to group those 12 worksheets. And how do I do that? How would I group those 12 worksheets? I'm going to click on January. What key am I going to use? Okay, I'm going to hold down the Shift key and click on December. You'll see now that, and that you have to go right to get to see everything. You'll see now I am definitely in group mode. Okay. So it kind of wants us to build some things here. So first off, it wants us to put a total in. So let's go to A11. Let's type total. And then we're going to auto sum B5 to B10. And we're going to do as well, drag that over to C10, C11. It wants us to do it by animal type as well. So we're going to put a total here. That is an E4. We're going to auto sum below, so that'll recognize that we're summing B5 to D5. And I'm going to drag that down. So very powerfully, what I've done there, is in essence what I had when I drug down at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I copied in 6 formulas times 12. So basically, I entered in the 72 cells by doing that. So because I had those things grouped. It wants us to pretty this up. It doesn't really specify how it wants it to be prettied up. But obviously, this doesn't look very nice. So I'm going to double click between those. I'm going to probably center all of this. And that's going to center everything. I'm not sure. Maybe the totals I should shade. You can choose whatever you'd like here. Maybe bold those as well. Cell style for that. So all I want to show you basically here is let's unclick to ungroup. Let's go to a worksheet that's not. And all those changes were made. And you could do all kind of formatting things there, obviously, to pretty it up. But all those formatting changes were made to all 12 of those worksheets. So that's basically through step 4. Okay, it says improve the formatting. And I guess we kind of did that. Step 5, it says in the service by month worksheet. So let's go to service by month. And we might as well make that a little bit better as well. It says in the service by month worksheet, in the range B5 to B16, enter formulas with worksheet references. Display the total grooming services for each month. The formulas will range from January B11 through December B11. So here's what it wants me to do. It wants me to, in B5 in the service by month, it says put an equal, click on January, and then select B11. Okay, I hit enter, and it pulls that 111 over from the January worksheet. It says hit equal, go to the February worksheet, and bring over that B11. Hit equal, go to the March worksheet, and bring over that B11. So that's the groom, and then I'd have to do the same thing, the C11, the D11 for room standard, room deluxe. Let's do that 12 times, okay? Got guys have any ideas of a better way to do that? So we're doing January, February, March, April, May. That's the name of the worksheet. So if you look at that reference, for example, January, exclamation point means what? The exclamation point means that worksheet, right? B11 means that cell in that worksheet. Well, there's a function in Excel that can build a reference, basically. It says, all right, that's what you want in there, equal February B11, but can we build that reference, on our own without having to do that every time? And let's show you that, what I'm going to do. So delete those. And this isn't in your module. This is just something, as we went through it, I thought there's a better way, and there is a better way. Okay, there is a function in Excel called indirect. Okay? And what it does is you build a string in there that represents what you want to bring back. So if you think about it, I want to bring back January, exclamation point, B11, right? That's what I want to bring in back there. But I want to build that reference by using cell references, not by clicking, okay? So where's January at? Where's a reference to January at? And where's a reference to February at? In this worksheet, where? In A. So if I do A5, it's going to shove January in there. But how do I want this to look? I want this to be, if you think about it, January. I need to tell it, hey, January is a worksheet. So how do I tell it's a worksheet? Exclamation point. And I want, what is it, B11? Is that right? B11. Okay, so I'm building a string. So how do we add strings? You guys know, maybe you don't know this. What's that? Well, we need to put strings in quotes, you're right, but how do we add or concatenate strings, like add them together? There's the argument that we use is the ampersand. You guys know the ampersand? So it's going to have January there. I'm going to use ampersand, and I'm going to add to that, and he's right, double quote, exclamation point, double quote. So it's building a string. It says take January, add an exclamation point to it, and add, and we got to hard code this as a string, B11. So it's building this reference indirectly, if you will. Does this make sense? So if I hit enter, do you want to accept? What do I have wrong? Oh, I forgot the last quote after the 11. So it goes and builds that and brings that out. Now the beauty of this is what? Yeah, now if I drag this down, okay, it says, hey, let's build an indirect reference, but let's use A6 for the worksheet name, ampersand B11, right? So it's pulling the B11 from each of those. Now, the problem with that, I don't know if it's a problem, but this has to match that worksheet name, right? So if I change this to, I don't know, maybe someone didn't know how to spell February, and they said February, it doesn't know, right? Because there's no February worksheet. Now, if I change this, let's say they really, they thought they were wrong twice, I change that to February, okay, it finds it again, right? So, go ahead.
So say there's like a space after
A space after what? What's that? Yeah, then that would be problematic. Like when in the name it says February space, you have to match that identically, right? So that's sometimes can be very frustrating when you try to debug things like that and have that situation. But it has to match identically. So I'll just undo. Undo. I probably won't do that for me. So Feb. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to copy this formula over. I want room standard. Now this is going to be screwed up, but I'll fix it. First off, I want to get the name again from, not from B5, but from A5. And I don't want B11, I think because I'm talking about room standards, I want C11. And might as well drag that over. And once again, it's A5. Okay, so if you follow along with the book, you know, it did it a lot more of a manual effort than that. Go ahead.
It says like reference number, one photocopy.
Okay. So what do we change? Which cell are you in, Stephanie?
C5.
Okay. So did you change the first cell to A5? Okay, because,
But I just thought this is 11 on it.
okay, then that's why. Okay. So while we're at it, let's do totals. That's auto sum. Oops. And let's do totals here. Auto sum. And we know how to pretty that up if we want, right?
What is the name for rooms in the life?
It's A5 still, still need A5. And then the second one needs to be D11, you need to go over a column. Now this one, so that's the one summary page, service by month. So we see where, we have 2,147 services, it looks like. If I put a comma there. If I put that. I don't think it tells us to do that, but this one, service by animal, is a little different. Okay, if you look at the format of this one, it's by animal type. So we have small dog, we can groom them, we can put them in a room, a standard room, or I guess a fancy pet room. And it's the same kind of format as, animal type, small dog, groom. So basically what I want to do is I want to, and I could do it this way, which is an awful way to do it. I could say equal, and I could go to January, and I could say, all right, that's B5 plus, and I could do, February B5, and I'd have to do March B5 and all the way through there, and I would add those up. What's a better way to do that? Okay, so, and we call that, do you remember what we call that? 3D reference, right? So we're gonna go equal, well, we'll do sum, I'm sorry, so equal sum, because we want to add these when they come back. And we're going to do January. I'm going to hold down the shift key and go to December. So that builds in my range. It says, all right, start in January, go through December. So it's kind of like a loop, if some of you guys are familiar with programming. Start in January, go to February, then March, April. And as you do that, sum up B5. So I just click on B5 and parenthesis, hit enter, and it's drilling down through there, right? That's what that reference is doing. It's starting in January, drilling down through December, and every case adding B5. Does this work for you guys? Yes? Okay, so I'm gonna take that and drag that over and drag it over. Total auto sum. Total auto sum. Okay, and there are my 2,147 services now, instead of by month, but by animal type and also what the service was. Any questions on that? So you can see how grouping 3D references can really save you a lot of keystrokes, save you a lot of time. One of the things that's real important there, however, is you keep that same format throughout. Now, a couple other things it wants us to do, and I'm just going to do one of these because we've done this to death and I don't want to waste any time. But it wants us to build some charts. So let's just go to the service by month. Let's go to A4 through D16. Let's not include the totals. And let's insert a column chart. And let's take a look at the services by let's move that legend to the right. Like that better. That's good enough, I guess. And let's move it, let's take that and move it down below. So let's put it in, use the Alt key, put it in A19. Through E33. Now the case wants us to do the same thing for service by animal. I'm not going to do that. It's basically the same damn thing. It wants to group all the workbooks, accept the documentation. This is the last step. Prepare the workbook for printing by displaying the workbook name and the worksheet name on separate lines in the right section of the header. Display your name and the current date on separate lines in the right section of the footer. So we need to group everything but the documentation page. So I'm going to click on service by month. I'm going to hit my shift key, go down to December. I'm going to go to page layout. I'm going to go to print titles. Under header footer, let's go to custom header first. wants the workbook name on one line, that's the at file. And it wants the worksheet name on the second line in the right section, so ampersand file, ampersand tab. I'm going to click OK. Custom footer. It says display your name and the current date on separate lines in the right section of the footer. So I could, well, I'll just put in John Miko.
Sorry, for the header, did you only want the and file and the tab?
Yep, that's all it had. That's all the case ones. And the current date. Once I've done that, I'm going to do print preview. And this is what the 14 sheets end up looking like. Okay, so save that, upload it to Blackboard, I'll grade it. That was a fairly easy case. Well, we'll start on Friday. Everything for Module 6 is due Monday, but we're going to start Module 7 on Friday. And Module 7 talks about developing an Excel application. So we're going to start to use things like define names, which is an easier way to reference cells than B7. We're going to, instead of calling it B7, we'll call it profit. We'll also learn how to record macros. So we'll do a little like record some macros, and then we'll edit them and look at some programming that we can do with that. So that's Module 7. That's all I have for today. I'm trying to save my voice. But you can use the remainder of the time, which is only 10 minutes, for lab.